really hope that third time's the charm, because I recorded this video 3 times. This is the 3rd time, and every single time it is not recorded properly. Please let this be the one, because every single time it's been a half an hour long, and there's only so much energy in me left. Even when I consume copious amounts of matcha, there's only so much energy left inside my soul. So let's get into the video. Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie, and you either found me because of the voiceover work I do, or because I do ASMR content here on YouTube. So as you probably know, I am celebrating the 4th anniversary of What Remains of Edith Finch all April long. And this week, what I wanted to do was I wanted to share my original Edith Finch audition with you guys, and then a couple other auditions of projects that I ended up booking, so that we could I could show you guys what the audition sounds like versus the final product and how things change and stuff like that. So I hope that's interesting to you. A lot of people have been asking, both in comments on other videos and on my TikTok, what the recording process and the audition process is like. So I thought it might be fun to take a walk down memory lane and peek behind the golden curtain. Let's do that, shall we? I think let's do that. I'll have fun doing that, and hopefully you guys think it's fun too. We'll see. Also, full disclosure, I will not be doing any, showing any auditions of things that I didn't book, mostly because I like to keep things classy, and I think it's kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, I auditioned for so-and-so, but I didn't book it, you know? Like, I would have been the better choice, but, you know, they went another direction. Personally, I think that's really rude, and I think it's very disrespectful to the actors who do book the role, because there's an obvious reason why they booked something. Clearly, they were right for the part. So we're only going to be doing some roles that I actually booked. So let's get into it. I've got my headphones at the ready. Let's do this. So first, we're going to listen to my What Remains of Edith Finch audition, which I sent on November 6th, 2016 at 9:10 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, for anyone curious. I remember really liking the part because in the casting call, it described Edith as a storm on the horizon that may never reach the shore, and I thought that was the weirdest description of a character I'd ever read. Like, who describes a 17-year-old girl like that? But I loved that about it, because while I'm like really perky and bubbly on camera and like for work and stuff like that, I definitely think there's like, I don't show it to people as often, but there's like the moody, dark, like poetry writing, Emily Dickinson loving side of me that I feel like people don't see all the time. So it was fun to channel that and show that part of myself for this audition. It was really very exciting. Also too, apparently, I booked the role on November 15th, 2016, so literally 9 days later, which is so fast because usually most things I book, I don't hear until weeks, sometimes months later. Like for Wolfenstein, I think it was like a month and a half or like 2 months before I found out that I booked that. Yeah, so it's a really fast turnaround time. All right, shall we listen to the auditions? Let's set the scene. This is 18-year-old Valerie. She's still living at home in her parents' house. She has built a pillow fort with comforters in order to soundproof her audition. And she's recording on her very crappy cell phone circa 2016, because I didn't have a mic at that time. I had no recording equipment at that time. All right, scene 1, let's listen.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house. The house was supposed to be empty, but I was pretty sure I could see smoke in the chimney. I hadn't been back since the funerals. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I had been dreaming about it. Looking back, I think that was the first really bad sign. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
I sound so little. I mean, this was 5 years ago. I feel like it's like so cute to listen to baby Valerie, who had no idea that her life was about to change. She had no idea that the voiceover community would be like the most welcoming place. Because I had only done a couple voiceover jobs prior to this, like 3 or 4, very few. And I knew I loved it, but in terms of like working, it was nothing compared until what happened after the game came out. So this is scene 2.
The house felt like it had always been there. Even the swing set was older than my mother. No one had dredged the pond in years. It smelled like eggs and algae. The power had been turned off a long time ago. The kitchen looked pretty clean, but something in the garbage disposal smelled like the beach at low tide.
I love how witty Edith is, because obviously she's sad. I mean, she's been through basically to hell and back, but she's still got this kind of dry sense of observing the world that I think is very interesting through a poetic lens. I think that's what I really liked about her. Also, too, it's like really cute to hear my zero editing sound quality of like no idea how to edit, no idea how to like really actually soundproof things. Gosh, that's like so weird to listen to.
Part of me already regrets telling you this one, but stories have a life of their own. Before I get to the end, I need to tell you about the beginning. It began the same way for me as it did for you, with this journal you're holding. I don't know how I could be scared to read a story that I wrote myself, especially one I wrote when I was 10. But it's that kind of story.
Wow. It's so exciting to hear and like interesting to hear. My auditions were very similar to how I ended up recording them in the booth. That's just like really cool to listen back on, because it's not something that I've looked at or listened to in a while. So cute. Such a baby Valerie. It's so funny. Yeah, it's weird to think about, like, I had no idea what was coming. Literally no idea. Okay, let's move on to Tower of God, because this one was kind of interesting for me, because I had no idea that, 1, Rachel was evil, and 2, I had no idea that she was one of the leads of the darn show. When I booked this, I thought I was working one day for 4 hours, and then I was done on the show. It wasn't until this session wrapped that they were like, yeah, we'll see you next time, like, have a good one. And I was like, oh, she's the narrator. Oh, and she's the one that the boy is following because he loves her. So I just kind of freaked out in my first session because I thought it was a very small part, and it wasn't a very small part. And the evil side, when I auditioned for this, they wrote in the darn character description that she's really sweet and kind and warm-hearted and loving. So I played her like a darn Disney princess. She's not a Disney princess, she's evil, which I love. I love that she's evil. I think she's so fun to play. But I actually didn't know that she was evil until she, spoiler alert, pushes him off of the boat ship thing in episode 11. I freaked out when I was in the recording studio because I had no idea she was evil. I thought she was sweet and that she loved Bomb this whole time. No. She's bratty. So in my audition for her, I do remember playing her like just the sweetest Disney princess. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna listen to that. We won't listen to them, but I actually auditioned for several of the female roles in Tower of God. And I remember being really excited to book Rachel because I remember really thinking she was so adorable and so cute, and I was just like, oh, she's so cute, I want to play her. So yeah, she's cute, but she's evil.
Valerie Rose Lohman, Rachel. At the top exists everything in this world. I'm sorry, Bam. Forget about me, please. I want to see the stars. At the top of the tower, there's this thing called the sky. It stretches out forever and ever. Bam, I'm just so tired. Sick and tired of being in this dark world.
A couple things about it. I definitely didn't know that his name was Bomb, and so I called him Bam, like Bam Bam from the Flintstones the whole time. And I feel like I sounded younger in my audition than she actually ends up sounding. I feel like I sound like I'm like 11 or 12. And I feel like she was definitely a little bit older in the actual show. But my favorite line, I think what made me so excited about this script was like, I loved like my favorite part of the whole, everything that I did out of season 1, my favorite lines are, I want to see the stars. At the top of the tower exists everything in this world. That whole little monologue is my favorite moment in the whole show. And I'm so glad that I got to do that for the audition, because I think that's what really made me excited about the part and about auditioning for the part. It was beautiful writing. Okay, last but not least, we're going to walk on back to Cobra Kai, the video game, because people on TikTok keep asking me, how are you Sam in Cobra Kai? You're not in the TV show. So I have to include that here, and we have to do a little story time about it, because people are very confused as to why I was in the video game and not the TV show. So I voice matched the girl who's in Cobra Kai. She did not do the video game, I did the video game. They sent us a bunch of clips from the show, and I really studied her performance and her voice, and basically I tried to match her as close as possible. Lucky for me is that she sounds really similar to how I speak normally, so it wasn't too far off to do, which, good for me. I love working, so that worked out nicely. Ah, we're losing light, which is what happens when you have to retake your darn YouTube video 3 times. I'm a dork.
Miguel? Hey, wait! You're not even worthy of a pet. Or a bully. You suck, Kyler. I'm sorry, but I never thought any of this would happen. They knew you were my father, and even mentioned the All Valley tournament.
I feel like out of everyone that I auditioned for, Sam turned out to be the closest to what she actually ended up being. Probably because I had a voice reference to do. Also, too, my audio quality is so much better, even from like Tower of God, because when I auditioned for Tower of God, we hadn't started working from home yet, and it was over the course of Tower of God. We did the first few sessions in studio, and then moved to working from home because of quarantine. So I had to learn a bunch of tech stuff really fast, and I can definitely hear the audio quality difference between my audition for Rachel and my audition for Sam. I feel like it came a long way. Also, I think I have a way better mic here. I feel like she sounds really similar to how she ended up sounding in the game, because it was a character that was already in existence, so it was more like matching that energy. Yeah, so there we go. We've concluded our walk down memory lane. I hope this was fun for you. It was definitely fun for me. It was fun to look back on these, because it's been a hot second. I don't usually go back and listen to my old auditions unless I only really do it the first time that I found out I booked something, because I want to make sure that I matched what they cast me for. And because you audition for so many things for voiceover, sometimes you don't remember the voice you did. So yeah, like the first day that I worked any of these jobs was probably the last time that I listened to these auditions. So it was really fun. I hope you guys had fun. Like I said, I was getting a lot of comments about the audition process and curiosity about that, so I thought this would be a fun one to share with you guys, and I hope it was entertaining. If you guys have any other suggestions, I would love to hear them. I have a huge content list of things that I'm working on right now between voiceover and ASMR content, but I definitely want to make sure to be doing content that you guys are excited about and want to watch, so please leave your suggestions below, and I will make as many things as I humanly possibly can. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, whatever side it's on, because I can never remember. And I will see you guys next week. Have a beautiful, magical, and wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.